So we have a lot of YouTube news to talk about today, including how YouTube plans to win the affiliate marketing game and the biggest challenges that it's facing, according to their top shopping executive. We're going to be going over some of the announcements made at Brandcast 2024. There's kind of some high level stuff to look at the future of YouTube. We're also going to be looking at some of the trends in the creator economy. The creator economy is currently booming, but where is it going in the future? But here's the thing. As a content creator yourself, as a business owner, I think one of the most important things to be doing on a regular basis is what people call a SWOT analysis. Have you ever heard of that before? And so SWOT stands for analyzing your strengths, your weaknesses, but also the opportunities and threats that are happening in the marketplace. So we're going to be talking about some high level stuff just to get a picture of where YouTube is. We're also going to be going into some practical tips for you as a brand new content creator, maybe a mid-sized content creator. So my commitment to you is that this stream or replay will just be packed of value. And we're just going to talk through a lot of news on this weekend edition of Think Media. And today's episode is brought to you by our upcoming Grow With Video Summit. This is happening May 23rd through the 25th with Patrick Bet-David, Ali Abdaal, Dave Ramsey, Pat Flynn. Details in the description down below if you want to check that out, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. So we're going to roll through some news together, though. And this is the first article I want to hit, because if we ask the question, what is the state of YouTube? How's YouTube doing? I'm curious your thoughts. Let me know. But here's the Washington Post making a decree, and here is what the headline is. And it says that the most consequential technology in America is, and if you read the article, is YouTube. YouTube is the most consequential technology in America. Now, do you think that's a little hype filled? I'm not sure, but I do think it paints a picture for where YouTube is going in the future. And here's what's interesting that they highlight. It's the most popular social app. It's the most popular music service. It's the healthiest economy on the internet. They talk about it's not the perfect economy, but if you look at all the different ways to earn money in the creator economy, whether that's like TikTok Creator Fund or people making money from Reels. I was in Vegas at our event talking to a guy who's making $5,000 a month off of the Facebook pays you, Meta pays you. And I was like, how do I get into that? I wasn't even sure. Maybe, you could give me some tips. So there's other ways. Facebook, everyone's competing to try to create an economy. But as we know, YouTube pays creators better. It's not perfect. There's issues. There's issues, but it's the healthiest economy on the internet. And it's also AI training fuel. And we're going to come back to that because there's a lot of drama around how like OpenAI, aka ChatGPT, is probably in a way like scanning YouTube videos, which is like probably not okay, but like that's how they're building their data sets. And anyways, we'll cover that a little bit later. So just as far as like, and by the way, these will all be linked in the description down below if you want to study out some of these articles. But that one, YouTube's the most consequential technology in America, something to pay attention to. Okay, let's knock out some specific news. This one's interesting. YouTube premium members can now test AI-powered jump ahead. So have you seen this? So back in March, YouTube started testing jump ahead, and now it's available for premium subscribers. So after you double tap skip ahead, you should see a button where it says, this is, where viewers typically skip ahead to. And here's a picture of it. Look at this on this Stephen Colbert video. It says jump ahead. Now let's read what it's saying. This is some experimental features from YouTube. For a limited time, eligible premium members can try out new features that we're working on, including AI experiments. And so Jump Ahead is a premium-only feature that combines watch data and AI to help viewers find the next best point that other viewers typically skip ahead to. So let me know if you have this. Are you a YouTube Premium user? Do you enjoy investing in YouTube Premium? Is it worth it to you? Super worth it to me. I mean, just the time saved not watching ads, how it ties into, of being able to listen with my phone asleep, especially because YouTube's where I mainly consume my video podcasts. By the way, we have a lot to talk about in regards to video podcasts, where they are, where they're going, and some new news there as well. So anyways, there's a cool new feature, skip ahead for premium users. And what we're going to see here is a theme and a trend of AI just impacting everything. In fact, The next piece of news we got to cover here is YouTube's new AI feature. It's called AI powered Ask button. Could be the perfect tool to make YouTube better. So YouTube is testing a new AI-powered Ask button that lets you type questions about the video you're watching and receive real-time answers. This feature is currently available to YouTube Premium members in the United States using the Android app. So this is going to be a little bit more niche. But this one actually kind of makes me a little bit nervous. And this is one of the threats, I think, that we're facing. I'm not sure if you've heard about Google's new AI summary feature. Have you heard about this? And so what Google is doing now, in fact, let me show you it in real time if they'll do it to me. I searched the creator economy, and here's the feature in action, AI overview. And this is a threat to a lot of bloggers, website builders, people that rely on internet traffic, and it's already affecting some people. So notice that the top response on Google when I search creator economy is actually a summary of like kind of what the greater economy is. Then it links to Wikipedia and another article. Then it summarizes some more things. And the problem is for website creators and blog creators is nobody is going to these places unless you choose to, read North America currently holds 40% of the creator economy market share as of 2024. North America creator economy could be worth around 24 billion. Okay, I want to learn more about that. You click on this and maybe you go to the website. Then as you scroll down, there's all the other stuff you would normally see. Well, the reason I bring that up is it's important to be aware of the threats in online business in general, because what people are saying is like, you're destroying our website traffic. Now people will just Google's going to steal the information off our website, summarize it for the person who lands on Google, and the person may never make it to my website. And if they never make it to my website, I'm not going to get that ad revenue or that email subscriber or any of that other stuff. So how does that apply to YouTube? Well, this whole thing of YouTube's new summarize your video feature, I just need you to know about this. I mean, we can debate about how this is going to affect us. We don't really know. It's just Android and it's just premium subscribers, but why does somebody even need to watch your YouTube video if they can just summarize it is an interesting thing. So you enable the feature, the Ask button underneath the video. Viewers can also type in a question pertaining to the video and choose from prompts related to the content. So all this to say, here's some screenshots. This is like an AI conversation with a YouTube video. And so we got an outrageous amount of ads on screen. And I wish I could clear this white. I need a new way to like display my browser. Anyways, doesn't matter. So you look at this, ask about the video, summarize the video, recommend related content. Are ear 2 worth buying? And the AI chatbot is replying. Here's an Ali Abdaal video. By the way, Ali Abdaal is speaking at our summit coming up. Side note, super fired up for him. It's online too, by the way, so you can watch from anywhere in the world what happened. Let's get back to this. So in this video, Ali Abdaal shares 10 time management tips. Summarizes all the tips. Now, do I need to watch the video? So do I get the watch time? So do I get the ad revenue? Does the person bounce? Is this call it what it is? I don't know what the future fully holds. I don't even know what camera I'm looking at. I'm going to switch over here. But AI is coming. And so this idea of opportunities and threats, listen, for the savvy entrepreneur, which I hope if you're subscribed to Think Media, you either are or will help you build you into that. We don't move in fear. We expect change, and we expect maybe the things that worked yesterday not to work in the future. So of course we'll adapt to this, and Google doesn't want to destroy YouTube. Google owns YouTube, so they don't want to ruin things for creators. We'll be covering that in the Brandcast thing coming up. But anyways, I think this is a pretty significant thing to be paying attention to, and that is, again, there's this new AI feature, the AI powered Ask button. Now, let me know if you have tried that out or anything. Now, if you're just joining, my name is Sean Cannell. The vision of this channel is to help give you unfiltered YouTube tips to build a profitable channel. Actually, here on Think Media, we do a lot of camera and gear tips. Whole new era coming in the future too with that. But if we are just meeting, wrote a book with my friend Benji called YouTube Secrets. And thanks so much for being here. Let's cover some more news. Next up is TikTok is experimenting and has already started to roll out 60-minute video uploads, drawing mini YouTube criticism. Here is the truth. everybody wants to be YouTube. YouTube is number one. YouTube has the market share. YouTube has the eyeballs. It doesn't mean TikTok doesn't. It doesn't mean Facebook doesn't, but it just means for the destination of video, YouTube is the place. And what's interesting is the value prop of some of these other platforms was a short form value proposition. In fact, let's read the criticism here. So TikTok is considering doing 60-minute videos, which, by the way, would you watch that? I mean, whatever. The social media video sharing platform has been based on short clips. Yes. The time length expanded to 10 minutes in February of 2022. And so it's official. TikTok is going long form. And it would seem that, again, everybody wants to go long form. At a macro level, it seems like the big brands and companies are having trouble really generating money on short form. You can see that explicitly evidenced in the fact that YouTube Shorts right now are paying me like a 17-cent RPM. And when it started, it was like a 4-cent RPM. And then long form is paying me like a 7 on this channel thick media, or like a 13 or 17 on long form. So anyways, it's just the idea, I guess, it's if you get somebody, a creator, somebody really loves, or watching 60-minute content, can you start doing mid-rolls? Long form just is maybe more sustainable business model. But let's read the criticism. I feel like there are so many creators out here who came to TikTok because it was a short form app. So this is creator Nikki Apostolou said in an interview with CNN, how now they want to make a mini YouTube. And I feel like it leaves out creators who came here for short form content. The model of short form video was really useful when TikTok launched. They could get people really quickly on the platform. It's continuous scrolling and it goes fast. I think TikTok is now thinking we should show advertisers. See, right? I mean, see, like you can monetize long form better. We should show advertisers that we can keep people staying on one video longer. But I'm interested to see how viewers are going to respond, because that is what has kept people on the app, is because the videos were short. And it is kind of weird. I mean, let me know how you feel about this kind of stuff, because all these different platforms, it's like Instagram is a photo app, and now it's a short form app and a video app and a live streaming app, and long form videos can be uploaded there too. They got rid of IGTV, but you could still upload long form. It's just like a non-reel that is longer or whatever. So anyways, now, of course, this is all happening amidst the fact that also TikTok might get banned. My prediction is that it doesn't. It gets acquired by a US company or something, and it continues to evolve. We're identifying threats and opportunities for you on YouTube going forward in 2024. And I think this is just stuff to be in the know about, but I'm not super concerned about TikTok being a threat to YouTube, but let me know if you are. And let's hit the next one. So we got to talk about podcasting, and we got to talk about the moves YouTube is making. See, here's what YouTube wants. YouTube Music wants to be the ultimate destination for podcasters and fans. Let's actually do a poll. I wonder if I could do that. Do you use YouTube Music? Do you have the YouTube Music app on your phone? We could also do a little side quest here, and let me just recommend you a few apps for the serious creators. The apps are, how do you do polls? I'm trying to like multi-run chat. Like I'm not on the back end, I'm on the front end. Engage with your audience. Plus, start a poll. I'm going to start a poll. Do you ask a question? Do you use YouTube Music? Do you use YouTube Music app? This is going to be so fun. Okay. So we'll see here live on a Sunday show. Okay. And the apps you definitely want is you want your YouTube app. You want your YouTube Studio app for creators. It's a separate app that gives you the better analytics. But then also I encourage you to download the YouTube Music app. Why? Especially if you're a video podcaster, because you should be experiencing the UI UX of anywhere you're distributing content. Sean, break that down. Okay. The UI UX is the user interface and the user experience, UI UX. And here's my point. As a content creator, you want to walk in the shoes of the people that you're creating content for. So YouTube Music's getting a lot of updates, and the YouTube app, whether you post your long form videos, video podcasts there, they're doing stuff over on YouTube Music. And if you're aware of the call to actions and the reviews, it's like if I encourage people on our Think Media podcast and I'm like, and hey, if you listen on Apple, one of the ways to get the word out is to leave a review if you're using the Apple Podcast app. It might just be a little verbal call to action. That's because I know how the Apple Podcast app works. So anyways, make sure I encourage you, something to do today is download your apps. And what's fascinating is here on our poll is 72% of people watching this live have not even downloaded the YouTube Music app. So you could see that means whatever it means, but let's get back to this. This is what YouTube Music wants to do. It wants to be the ultimate destination for podcasters and fans. So YouTube did an interview with their chief product officer about the future of podcasts. It says it deeply cares about fostering a vibrant podcast scene that caters to everyone and anyone. Cool. So one thing that we've heard about podcasts on YouTube is that people like the visual element. Let me encourage you in 2024, don't start a podcast, start a video podcast, right? The other big secret sauce is using existing recommendation systems to help people discover new content, go deeper what they love, helping podcasters reach new audiences on YouTube. This is also why I honestly think it would be foolish not to start a video podcast, because podcast historically has trouble getting discovered. Like Apple in its history, the search features over there, Spotify, maybe it's getting better, but it's nowhere close to the search features and the recommendation algorithms and all of that stuff that happens over on YouTube and YouTube Music. And so discoverability is such a huge key there, but yet you also get the benefit of doing both video and audio when you launch a video podcast, which, side note, I'll put some other show notes and resources in the description area with some tutorials on launching a video podcast, should you be interested in doing that this year. Okay, so you've got our discovery systems, and our watch next can highlight topics and creators and all of that discovery. Okay, cool. Here's a few other things. We want YouTube Music to be the one-stop shop for all your listening. Now, what is fascinating, and somebody could fact check me on this, but that first Wall Street Journal article says that YouTube Music is the biggest streaming app. Isn't that, somebody fact check me and let me know. So YouTube Music's bigger than Apple Music and bigger than Spotify Music, and it's the biggest already, and yet nobody here, 72% of people watching this don't even have the app. So another lesson I think we can learn as we look at news is never project your bias and your experience on the market. Oh, it's such a fatal flaw of creators. They're like, well, I don't listen to YouTube Music. And you're like, yeah, well, it's the biggest, or it's huge. Well, I don't like video podcasts on YouTube. Well, a lot of people do. So, I mean, I don't like shorts. Well, still a lot of people are watching shorts. So, I mean, is this about your preferences, or is this about reaching your target audience and like helping and serving people and actually doing market research? So let me know if somebody could, if you are in front of a computer and you want to fact check. I appreciate the compliment on the suit. This is the news show. I don't think I've ever done a show like this, but I thought, I mean, I gotta, if this is a Think Media news show, let me know if I should do this in the future. So anyways, what are we talking about? So YouTube wants to be the one-stop shop for all your listening. So you would open up the app, you would, play your Taylor Swift. Come on. You'd play your Kendrick. You'd play your Drake. Are you team Kendrick or team Drake? It's the real question here. It's really going to define. That's the next poll. Okay, let's end poll. We're ending it 27%. A quarter of people actually have the YouTube Music app, and 3 out of 4 don't. At least in our community, we got to level up. Now, I'll admit, and I will tell you this. So my wife, Sonia, is full on YouTube Music app for years. I pay for Spotify Premium regarding my music. It's where my playlists are and stuff. But yet I'm a YouTube addict and I'm a YouTube Premium addict, etc. I think what's fascinating, though, is the value proposition of only having to pay for one service. Like, because if you pay for YouTube Premium and you get no ads and you can play in the background and you get YouTube Music as well, like, competitive with maybe Amazon Prime, they give you some music. Anyways, let's give you some rundown of some things that are happening. Okay, November 2023, the support for third-party RSS podcasts came to YouTube. Updates to the Android Auto experience for easy in-car listening. Okay. Enhanced download options, auto downloads, and then customizable playlist sorting. Another thing we learned today is how YouTube doesn't currently have an RSS out where you upload your shows and episodes to YouTube and Google would generate the RSS feed for podcast clients. But that is a feature on its roadmap. But it has an RSS in. So you can also fact check me on that as well. But just to understand it, RSS out would simply mean that it's kind of a dream that you just start a YouTube channel and you start a video podcast and you commit to excellence and you figure out your brand and you figure out your niche and you figure out your show format and you start uploading the videos and it just handles the audio distribution for you, not to YouTube Music only, because that's already sorted, but to that your YouTube channel would be the RSS feed out. And that's a feature that they want to add as far as what are the trends and opportunities that are coming. My conclusion on this one, and if you're just joining, we're talking about YouTube Music wants to be the ultimate destination for podcasts and fans. Future is bright for video podcasters. It's not that it's going to be without competition. People would say, isn't podcasting saturated? Well, the definition of saturation is no, it can't actually be saturated. It could, but you know what the definition of saturation is? Is YouTube saturated? No, of course not. The definition of saturation is holding as much water or moisture as possible, thoroughly soaked. So it means that there is no more you could possibly add. So saturation would mean it's just not even possible. There's no new shows you could launch. There's no new listeners. Nobody wants any more episodes. People are just going to listen to old podcasts. They don't want to listen to new podcasts. Obviously, that's not true. And sometimes, I'll get criticism like, Sean, you're just like making this all sound easy. You haven't watched Think Media that closely. This stuff is going to be hard. Breaking through the competition and saturation is hard, but it is possible. And when there is an open window, when you see, we're really kind of it's been happening, but like video podcasting is a wave. YouTube Music's making all these changes. And it's also a war between Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. So I just want to encourage you to get in the game. And conclusion of our news show today on this particular article is future is bright. And for people who want to launch, start, and grow a video podcast. One of the things, we'll be covering some of that on our summit that is coming up this week. Depending on when you're watching this, it starts May 23rd. Details in the description down below. But many people on here, like Patrick Bet David is one of our speakers. His PBD podcast blowing up is like an understatement. It's pretty wild. Like in a very short time, he has made traditional media companies like look foolish or look ridiculous or look like they don't spend their money very well because they don't really, like the budgets, because he's really he's bootstrapping a media company in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, impacting the world, stepping in not just entrepreneurship and politics, but it's a video podcast, clips, shorts, and multi-channel, all the different stuff. So anyways, if you are interested in some of that stuff, that's going to be one of the topics we're going to be covering during our Grow with Video Summit, our live event that is happening online this week, May 23rd through the 25th with GaryVee, Ali Abdaal, summit.thinkmedia.com if you're interested in any news about that. Let's keep it moving. And we still got to cover Brandcast, which there's quite a few takeaways. That's a little bit more high-level YouTube. And we still got to cover some creator economy news. But next, let's go with like the smallest and funniest piece of a little bite-sized thing. YouTube Music looks nicer on iOS now. Great. But yeah, the app's now playing screen has a gradient background, and you can see that they're investing in it. They're wanting to improve it. All right, next. Inside YouTube's plan to compete with Spotify and Apple in podcasting. We pretty much hit this, but let's just hit the headlines here. YouTube recently hosted a virtual seminar for podcast creators. The company broke down how it plans to compete with other podcasting platforms. YouTube is leaning in on its own music app to rival competitors like Spotify and Apple. I'll link all these articles up so you can research any ones you want to later. Next, how YouTube plans to win the affiliate marketing and biggest challenges it faces according to a top shopping executive. Okay. I wish this giant gray empty spot here was not here, but it doesn't matter. YouTube is dedicating resources to growing its in-house shopping tools for creators. Have you used YouTube Shopping? Have you had any success with signing up for YouTube Shopping? Your channel's monetized. You're connecting products to your shorts or whatever. You're getting affiliate commissions directly through YouTube. We're going to look at a list of the opportunities here on the Google website. But the company recently rolled out a new affiliate feature to set itself apart from other programs. Bridget Dolan, a YouTube shopping exec, spoke about the program's greatest advantage and its challenges. So here's a list of the affiliate sellers that are directly integrated into YouTube now. Abercrombie and Fitch, Adidas, Adorama, etc. You can see a lot in here. Bloomingdale's, Crocs, Logitech. So you see some tech brands, QVC, interesting stuff. Now, what is interesting about some of these affiliate programs, I don't know if it's different or more competitive, but some of them have 10, 20, 25% affiliate commissions. I think one of the biggest problems they're saying here, though, when it comes to the challenges they're facing, is people want to do affiliate marketing on their own terms. I still want to. I'll mention like Amazon affiliate. So here it says, the problem, its creators are already making money promoting products through established affiliate marketing programs like Amazon's influencer program, LTK, and Magic Links. YouTube, which launched its shopping affiliate program in 2021, has struggled to gain meaningful adoption. And so that's some of the uphill battles they're facing. And so, it's kind of interesting for me. I just love Amazon so much as somebody that, has originally, the way I was able to go full time on YouTube was talking about tech and cameras. I've been doing video for 20 years, And so I started to teach video, lenses, cameras, all that kind of stuff. I learned how to rank YouTube videos, meaning I could create a video today that would be viewed for 6 months, 12 months, 3 years. And that's what works. It's probably about a baseline of 4 million views a month, long form, that Think Media gets because of ranked videos. And many of those are connected to affiliate programs. And my favorite, though, and the brand that's been the best to me has been Amazon. And one of the reasons for that is not necessarily just the percentage, because some people might say, well, we'll give you 10% or 8% on, a camera lens or something on some other site. But here's the fundamental problem. Amazon has taken over the world. What do I mean? Well, if you are already a Prime member and you already know how fast they'll ship things to you, and you already know how good the return policy is, and you already know also the missing piece of other affiliate programs is Amazon's the everything store. So one of the things that happens for me is, as I talked about a camera and people maybe went and checked it out, they didn't buy the camera, but they finished up their shopping, whether it was groceries or makeup. They bought a TV and they bought their husband a new watch for his birthday, whatever. Then I got credit for all that stuff because of the 24-hour cookie. So anyways, it's going to be a hard for some people. Now, admittedly, I actually think that if it's more apparel fashion, if you're beauty fashion, I think this is fascinating because there's good percentages. It's integrated into the platform. But I just think Amazon is such a force, as they mentioned. And not only that, we're also using Genius Links. Magic Links is different, but has other things. So we're talking about threats and opportunities in YouTube news that's coming up. I think it's just something to pay attention to, what's happening with YouTube shopping. I think it's something to look into maybe some of these retailers. And not only, one of the things that we are committed to helping you with is getting your first 1,000 subscribers and getting your channel monetized and getting eligible for these different programs. And I think the big key, Walmart's on here. This is a list of affiliate sellers that are integrated. Target is on here. Those are places that I would see that are less relevant to like Think Media. Sennheiser is, we talk about Sennheiser or different Logitech all the time, but I like B&H, whatever. Anyways, so big stuff happening on the affiliate marketing front, and definitely subscribe and stick around because we've done a lot of content on affiliate marketing, but things have changed. Just today, I was looking at some of the past videos that were getting commented on like affiliate marketing videos that I made when I had like no kids and like no beard. I was like, man, I got to do some affiliate marketing updates. There's all kinds of new stuff we're doing. So anyway, subscribe for that. Let's keep it moving. The creator economy. Is it shrinking? Is the bubble bursting? Is it over? Is the influencer bubble bursting? People like making clickbait videos. Listen, math is math. So let's look at what Goldman Sachs said. So the creator economy said, Goldman Sachs said the creator economy could approach $500 billion by 2027. I don't know if you've read this, but again, this is some people over on Wall Street, economists and stuff, looking at what the creator economy is. people like you and I that want to work from home, make a full-time living, or an extra income. Yahoo Finance said the creator economy is the fastest growing business type. What this reveals to us is the next 3 years are going to be the best 3 years in the creator economy. The biggest growth, the biggest acceleration, at least mathematically, according to the TAM, which is the total addressable market, kind of a geeky term. The total addressable market of who's in the creator economy, how much money is being generated. And that's really just the tap of the iceberg. What they're saying is that it's about a $250 billion industry globally right now. It's going to be a $500 billion industry in the next 3 years. What's really shocking about that is my first YouTube channel that I started was for my church in 2007. How many years ago was that? 17? 3 plus 10 plus 4, 17 years ago. So I've been doing YouTube a long time. I've watched different eras come and go. And yet the math is revealing to us that what's happened in the last 17 years on YouTube is about to double in the next 3. Competition is fierce because a lot of people want to get in on this, but the pie is also massive. I'm a big proponent of an abundance perspective. Like, I think this is important as a creator because you don't want to get petty and weird and negative and trolly. It's like, you don't have to lose so I can win. I don't have to lose so you can win. Because the fixed pie mentality makes it think like, oh, it's too crowded, it's too saturated. And I get the uphill battle, but like, somebody else doesn't have to. It's just kind of like saying, well, there's only 3 YouTube videos you could watch today. No, you could watch more than 3. And you can watch videos tomorrow. No, I know. There's just too many podcasts, No, like, niche down, find your thing, find your angle, find your deal. There's also more people being born and people are dying. It's not, I don't know why I laughed. It's just like things change. People like different vibes and shows and lengths and formats and stuff. Like, just saying, like, somebody else doesn't have to lose so you can win or vice versa. Look at the math. If you want to position yourself, the next 3 years are going to be the best 3 years in the creator economy. But this was actually the one I really wanted to hit. So the creator economy is currently booming. And each year, the market is becoming larger and more varied. So you can research this later, but this is talking about the next 6 years, right? And some of the things that the data is showing us. So the global creator economy is valued at 155. And by 2030, the creator economy is expected to pass 525 billion, $500 billion. These are a little bit different numbers than Goldman Sachs, but it's actually tracking pretty clear, pretty similar. The one I wanted to hit on here, though, was the stuff. Here's growth projections, creator economy market growth projections. And this is some important stuff. As a professional, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, or as a brand new content creator that's just wondering if it's too late to start, well, just look at the graph. It's not too late to start. You want to bet on something that has growth coming to it. Okay, but let's get to the fact that I wanted to look at here. Okay. And that is, this is a really good article. There's a lot of stuff in here. All right. By geography. So this is fascinating. So North America currently holds 40% of the creator economy market share. Not surprising. As of 2024, the North American creator economy is worth 24 billion, nearly double Europe's. And by 2030, this figure is expected to 6x. And then it breaks down the different markets. So you see North America, Asia, Europe, South America. So definitely North America with the big lead, but let's look at these other opportunities. And if you look at the other small bars, you're like, oh man, North America is so huge. It would be awful to be this little purple bar. Well, no, man. I mean, we're talking, that's what, 20 billion, if I'm just guessing, $20 billion in the pie to tap in, figure out how to monetize, figure out your income streams. So anyways, this is just kind of shows you what's coming and what the future of the creator economy is. But let's hit the next one. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about from Brandcast. Now, I will admit this information I think is important for small, new, and mid-sized creators from a level of like paying attention to what's just happening on YouTube macro. There's also clearly, though, a disconnect between like the top 1% of creators and the struggle of like the everyday creator like you and I, but I do think there's some takeaways from what we could see happening in the future here. So let's highlight some of those. There's some cool things here. And one of the things that, mind you, this is YouTube's official blog talking about themselves in a way, but I think there's some juicy information. So Brandcast just happened a couple days ago, and it was in Lincoln Center, and Billie Eilish showed up and some other thing, some surprises, and you had a lot of the top 1% creators. But this quote at the headline, I think, is pretty cool. There's only one YouTube. And here's how they described it. A new era of entertainment was on display at Brandcast. Creators are the new must-see TV. Creators are the new TV. We're going to go more into that. Viewers are seeking out platforms where they can be 24/7 fans. This is fascinating. So YouTube is where you can find talking about Billie Eilish's music, plus every interview and live show in existence. So think about it. I grew up watching like Yo MTV Raps, during the summer. My dad would be like at work at his construction job, and I'd be like off school. I just got up, watched MTV every day. Probably wasn't healthy, but like Macklemore says, like, that's what you get when Wu-Tang raised you, And I think about, so I grew up with like the Source magazine, and I would buy it at a grocery store. And if you're a fan, you start having these, people you want to follow. If you're like me, when you're a fan, you're into the music. Maybe you're into like some bootleg stuff. You're into the live stuff, but you're also into like interviews, or you're into behind the scenes stuff. And so as I was reading this, I was like, dang, this is wild, because YouTube's becoming the one-stop shop. Let's break it down. YouTube is where you can find the music, plus the interviews, plus the live shows. It's like Coachella is streaming on YouTube. These different live shows, live experiences are streaming on YouTube. And then it talks about sports. It's where you find not just the game, but you find the pregame, the postgame, and the get ready for the game. And what you're finding, there's some opportunities with YouTube and sports understanding that they need to connect with creators to reach a next gen. There was something about Gen Z would like never watch a full-length basketball game, I think was the stat, but they will consume all kinds of content in terms of the highlights, in terms of behind the scenes of the players, like the players' own social media and content creation, in terms of a creator going and vlogging and experiencing the sports game itself. We just see power is shifting away in a lot of ways from traditional media, and it's going into the hands of creators. And YouTube is becoming this massive destination for like this multi-angle opportunity. Okay. What else do we learn at Brandcast? YouTube is the #1 streaming platform powered by creators and content we love most. This is crazy, y'all. This is why, I might have been accused of clickbait a time or two, but this video is huge YouTube updates. It really, if we look at the title, it is pretty big. YouTube is the #1 streaming platform, according to Nielsen, on TV screens. Okay. So YouTube, for more than a year, has been the most watched streaming platform. Here's the key: on TV. And this week, Nielsen shared that YouTube continues to increase momentum, not only as the top streamer, but as the second most watched media distributor overall on TV. Wow. Okay. So what else can we learn from Brandcast? Along the way, creators are redefining what we think of as TV. And what was interesting here, so let's look at another article and we'll kind of pivot back and forth, is the CEO of YouTube, Neil Monahan, has been saying it's time for the Emmys to embrace creators. In the years ahead, the TV Academy could consider expanding their categories to cover a full range of entertainment. I think what we're talking about here is like old versus new. You have Oscars, Emmys, and like some like weird stuff that happens with those shows, just in terms of a disconnect of like, seems like there's politics and like, is it really fan favorites, or does it have to do with the elites who just have their opinion of what's best, or even sometimes some different like woke, point of views or whatever, just like overlaid over what is really best based on merit or what is best on other things, whatever. You just also have this more renegade platform called YouTube that is putting power in the hands of shows like Hot Ones. So if you heard about the Hot Ones show, is actually going to be, there's the opportunity for it to be in the Emmys, which is really cool. Like this, as a small creator, this should cause you big excitement, because it's you again, you don't have to lose for someone else to win. And we're talking about pioneering stuff here for a YouTube show. First We Feast, right? Hot Ones, to actually jump into the Emmy race. Emmy race got a bit more spicy. 3 popular YouTube web series have found their content creators taking a chance on themselves, which could significantly impact the Emmy race in some categories. Really cool. So that's another big trend that we were seeing. YouTube is the most watched streaming platform. Creators are redefining what we think of as TV. In the last 3 years, the number of creators that have received the majority of their watch time on the big screen has increased by 400%. Another article told us that the most watched platform in the living rooms of Americans is YouTube. More than any of the other things. I mean, that's what we're saying, but just another way to say it. What else from Brand Connect? Select creators. This is fascinating. This is, again, a top 1% thing, but you're here to be in the know of what's happening for the future ahead. So select creators are going to be involved in this new thing called creator takeovers, giving brands the opportunity to, I believe, sponsor an entire channel and an entire library as opposed to a one-off brand deal. So they're saying that they can do like a brand takeover. Brands want to connect with viewers, and there's some new opportunities. We're giving brands the opportunity to take over the big screen, be front and center. There's also going to be some stuff with interaction, knowing that we're multi-format. So if you're watching a YouTube show you love on screen, some stuff with QR codes that could start being integrated. So, you know, as you're watching, like, you ever see Hulu? Do you watch Hulu? Did you watch The Bear? Are you done with season 2? What a great show. Yes, chef. You know, on ads on Hulu, these make the most sense to me. You're watching an ad, the ad shrinks down, and a QR code is there the whole time with some kind of an offer. And I'm just chilling with my wife, Sonia, and I can pull my phone out and hit that QR code. So just some of these things, and interactivity on TV screens has more than doubled in the past year. What else? A couple other things from Brandcast is what we're talking about here, which is this event that YouTube hosts. I just broke the internet. Oh, we're back. Google AI powered video campaigns are now being optimized for the living room. I don't know what that means, but they're called video reach campaigns. And we're seeing AI coming in again in terms of, will now deliver your reach and awareness goals more effectively. Mind you, this is high level stuff. You might be like, what does that have to do with me as a small creator? Pretty much nothing, because we're talking about top 1% of creators. But what does it have to do with you? I think the integration of AI, I think the prominence of YouTube creators tearing down the walls of traditional media, and I think the winner of opportunity for you to take your piece of that pie. Last thing to hit would be sports. Big news. Let me know if you're excited. The video platform has inked a deal. YouTube has inked a deal with the WNBA for Friday night games. But YouTube Sports is a whole thing. Like, this is the current sports shows that are available. And then YouTube TV is this whole other thing as well. You got YouTube TV. By the way, you want another app? We talked earlier about the 4 apps. Something to just maybe dip your toes in. You have YouTube TV, YouTube Music, YouTube Studio for creators, and the YouTube app. 4 apps. Is there more than that related to YouTube? But look at these sports shows. You got WWE Next, NXT. You got Billiards. You got NFL Live, NFL Today. And so this is the kind of stuff when we talk also about gaming, and we talk about music and Coachella and these different things that are streaming. We talk about sports. You can see why YouTube is taking over the world. And according to Wall Street Journal, they're saying YouTube is the most consequential technology in America. You can see why. Okay, a couple more articles to land the plane on today. But if you're just jumping on to our show, this is our probably never been done before YouTube news show, where I thought about dressing up for you and bringing you my best, because actually I just saw so much different news, and some of this has come out in the last couple months, but Brandcast was just a few days ago. Some of these new AI features, if you're just joining, check out the replay of this video. I'll go back through and get you some time codes and chapters and make sure you have all the articles in the description down below. Today's episode is also brought to you by Grow with Video Summit. And when it comes to all of this, like in light of all this news, you might be wondering, okay, well, how do I go forward? How do I get views? How do I start? If I've hit a plateau, how do I reinvent myself and start, innovating my content? Well, we're doing an event and bringing together some of the best and brightest video experts to teach what's working now, what stopped working, what are their strategies, how are they thinking. Some of it, you might be like, well, have I heard it before? Remember, Michael Jordan said, when you master the fundamentals, everything else you do will rise. So of course, sometimes it's not that we need to learn something new. We need to repeat the basics and redouble down on our vision, on our focus. But also, you're going to be getting Ali Abdaal. He's doing some Q&A there. Patrick Bet-David, same thing, and some keynotes just for this event of what are they doing right now. These creators are killing it. We have Gary Vaynerchuk. If you're at the VIP level, you can get a copy of Gary's new book, The Attention Economy, which is his most recent, content. And he's actually answering questions of people that are attending the summit. So what is this? It's a 3-day event. It's happening May 23rd through the 25th. We've got speakers like GaryVee, Ali Abdaal, Dave Ramsey, Cody Sanchez, Pat Flynn, Nikki Saunders, Shalene Johnson. You can see all the different speakers on the website. There's many more. Summit.thinkmedia.com. It's happening Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, May 23rd through the 25th. It is online. It's a virtual event, so you don't need a hotel. You don't need a plane ticket. It's super affordable. The general admission ticket is very affordable, $47 at the time of doing this live stream, because again, we could pass the savings on to you. About a month ago, we hosted an in-person event, and it cost us a fortune to get audio, video, lighting, stage. We didn't offer attendees water. I'm sorry if you came and you're like, I wanted water, but this is no joke. The hotel in Vegas, if we wanted to offer water perpetually and continually throughout the entire event, it was only going to cost us $20,000. That's not funny, but it is funny. I was like, yo, people can buy their own water. They could bring water bottles somewhere else. $20,000. Like, this is a little more expensive. I like that Fiji Voss life, but the $20,000 water, what's the point? The summit's virtual, so that's why we can make it so affordable. So anyways, if you have any questions about it, let me know. Summit.thinkmedia.com. Links in the description down below. Grab your ticket. I think this would be one of the best investments you can make in your creator career, in getting great information if you're just starting. But if you're at an advanced level, obviously you see there's some speakers that are icons and legends and media moguls. Dave Ramsey's, between all his channels, getting like hundreds of millions of views a month. Patrick Bet-David's getting 1 billion every month or two. And so learning the best tips and strategies, whether that's the new stuff and all that great stuff. It's a 3-day event. So anyways, check it out. And we'll cover a few more pieces of news here, and then I'll check in with you. I appreciate you being here. Bro, good to see you. That's disgusting. Yeah, it is. I was like, I think you're referring to the $20,000 water. I was like, man, I can't justify it. Nor can I afford it. But let's talk. YouTube Kids. There are so many YouTube apps, and there might be even more than we're talking. And YouTube Kids is a whole thing in terms of, when we talk about YouTube as the most consequential technology in America, YouTube Kids, fact check me, is the most prominent and dominant kids media platform. It is the biggest and most consumed. So you think about opportunity as a kids content creator. And yes, there's a lot of competition there. There's some negative stuff. There's an interesting Wired article just about how much AI content is especially being flooded into YouTube Kids. But people just get so negative about that, because I could see the dark side of that. But what else about the good side of, like, you truly want to finally actualize your vision of creating like content that's going to instill family values, or be entertaining, or be funny, and be high quality. And AI tools are now empowering kind of the everyday person. I was thinking about the other day, I was like, man, animation and things like that are like more within reach to the average person than ever before. Doesn't mean it's easy. Doesn't mean there aren't going to be some hard things to figure out. And it also doesn't mean that you just are going to take the laziest path. It's just that these tools can reinforce your creative vision. So anyways, what are the apps? The YouTube app, the YouTube TV app, YouTube Studio, YouTube Music, YouTube Kids. Your entire home screen is YouTube apps. But if you are watching YouTube Kids, that's kind of weird. Unless you have kids like me and you watch Gracie's Corner and Blippi and Coco Melon 24/7. That's what I watch. And I sometimes let my son use my YouTube Normal. and I'll be there with him, and he messes up my algorithm. I'm like, bro, you're clicking on the wrong videos. I don't need these in my recommendations. I'm trying to keep my recommendations clean because I want what I want. I don't want YouTube to think that, like, if you're not around, I'm watching that much Blippy. But maybe I am. What are we talking about? Okay, a couple other things as we land the plane on our news show today is a little bit of what's coming with AI, and I think this is something you need to know. So Google CEO says company will sort it out if OpenAI misused YouTube for AI training. So at the foundation of this, we talked about, it was posted in a positive light that the Washington Post said YouTube is the most consequential technology in America. It's the most popular social app, music service, healthiest economy, and it's AI training fuel. So if you haven't heard about this controversy, it's this. It's that, how is AI actually getting so smart? How is Chat GPT 4.0 or 4 like little o or whatever? What is it? 40? 4. Okay. The newest how are these language models building it out? Did you actually know there's a data shortage? What does that mean? There's like not enough data for these voracious AI robots that'll probably eventually kill us to like absorb and become smart. But one of the biggest data sources is your content and my content and YouTube overall. And it's kind of like, don't ask, don't tell. And it seems like every company is just stealing, if you will, information to put into their language models. But this could lead to some interesting things that are happening in the future. Here's the key point. So the Google CEO said, we're going to sort it out with OpenAI to see if it has relied on YouTube content to train an artificial intelligence model to generate videos. As they also release Sora and there'll be competitors. How are the AI tools figuring out how to make videos? Well, if they just consume all the YouTube videos and study them, but then you have to ask, well, did they have permission to do that? Do they have rights to do that? And does somebody owe somebody money? Look, I think it's a question for them to answer. And then Google announced their own AI model called Veo or Veo. And so there's a New York Times article on this, on how tech giants cut corners to harvest data for AI. OpenAI, Google, Meta ignored corporate policies, altered their own rules, and discussed skirting copyright law as they sought online information to train the newest artificial intelligence systems. So this is like kind of the big thing. And it would seem that maybe none of these big corporations are innocent, when I'm sure they're not. When you start thinking about big corporations and things they do. But it sounds like Google's doing it and Microsoft's doing it, who owns OpenAI and whatever else. So anyways, I guess the point and takeaway of this in terms of news is that I think we just can expect a lot of change, a lot of disruption in the coming months of 2024. I think there's many elections happening around the world. There's a big election happening here in America. There's all kinds of things happening in the economy, and AI, the buzz has kind of died off, but yet it's still leaps and bounds advancing. I don't know if you've seen the latest stuff where with the newest Chat GPT, through your phone camera, it can like see stuff and like tell you what to wear, and like it knows what it's looking at. And so I think you can plan for there being massive disruption. And this purpose of this video is to just get you information that you can use to see what's coming and to make educated guesses with all of that. And so I believe if you've got a question or anything, put 4 question marks before and after. But what are some of the final takeaways? Here's what I would say. If you're a serious content creator, you're a business-minded content creator, you're an entrepreneur, your job is to think 5 to 10 moves ahead. Your job is to spot trends and to make smart and strategic moves. We've been covering a lot of threats and interesting things like how's AI, or that AI summary feature that's on Android right now. Watch earlier in the video if you're just joining about that one. How could that disrupt what's happening for us as creators? We're seeing how Google search itself could be affecting different creator businesses. But here's our mentality at Think Media. And there's different people, they got different perspectives. We're just not going to let cynicism rule the day. Cynicism. I mean, if you're going to be thinking anyways, the channel's called Think Media, we're going to think big. If we're going to be thinking anyways, we're going to think positive. One of the things I learned from Jim Collins was great leaders have an accurate view of reality. They face reality with unflinching optimism. Man, that's the MO. That's my mode of operation. That's what I want to be my point of view, not disconnected or unaware of what's happening, or optimistic for optimistic's sake and delusional. Man, I want to face reality. I want to look at what's happening. But if you're also going to face the negative news, you need to face the positive news. The next 3 years are going to be the best 3 years in the creator economy. We just tracked out to 2030 how much growth the creator economy is going to see. So there's just kind of two perspectives, and you get to choose right now, and let me know which one you would want to be. Are you going to choose to, look at the negative news and cause that to paralyze you and not move and just complain about how hard things are? Or are you going to face the giants that are ahead, but be like, man, we can do this. We can defeat these giants. I'm going to put in the work. We might as well give it a try. I would rather try and not succeed than wonder 10 or 20 years from now, man, did I miss my shot? I should have started that channel. I should have reinvented myself. I should have punched fear in the face. I should have pushed past fear. I should have continued to study and learn and level up, because those who outwork and outlearn and out strategize and outlast are going to be the ones that thrive in any economy. Outwork, outlearn, out strategize, and outlast. That's how I respond to this news that affects me and news that affects you. So I appreciate you for watching today. Let me check in with your stream. And if you have any questions about our summit, it is coming up. Today's video is brought to you by the summit. I'm excited. It's happening this week. So hit the link in the description. If you have any questions about that, let me know. And as we just land the plane, let me see any ahas, takeaways, anything you're planning on starting this year, any goals that you have. This is the golden message right here. Appreciate you, L Naturally. I'm going to go forward. Iva, appreciate you. Yes, we're going to outwork, outlearn, outlast, and out strategize the competition. Blaine says AI seems not like a new social media platform, and instead a content creator's platform to create. Would you agree? Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean, Blaine, fully, but I think that AI is just such a massive concept. I think there's practical tool AI, like basic stuff, but like really cool mini tools. There's this whole generative AI conversation. AI is a revolution, and it isn't really a social media platform. What you're seeing is every platform, it's disrupting Google search. It's being integrated into YouTube. And so hit me with a follow-up question to maybe give me a little bit more clarity there. But the Mindset Miami says, would you recommend me starting a completely new YouTube channel versus my account of 10 years ago? If it's the same niche, same promise, if it's also relatively small, like I wouldn't use the same channel if you had 50,000 subscribers that subscribe to your channel for gardening. And now you're like, I'm going to start a video podcast about AI news and AI tips and AI tools. I would start a new channel. The question is there any pre-existing audience there that has a certain expectation? And is that audience of a significant enough size? If so, then start a new channel. Like if it's a conflict. If you have 632 subscribers, 10 years ago, you uploaded a dance recital and then like a workout video and you didn't do much, I'd probably build on the same channel. It's not a big deal. You got to fight for today. But that's kind of the two ways to think about it. It's going to be hard. It's going to be almost harder and impossible to pivot dramatically an audience that expected one thing, and now you're going on to a completely another thing. And so that's one thing I would think about. Do you enjoy new shows like this? Smash like if you're getting value. And if you'd like some of these in the future, let me know. If you're hashtag replay fam, drop that in the comments. Cheryl said, how can we use AI to stay ahead of the disruption? Two things. Check out Nikki's video that we just posted on Think Media, and Nikki Saunders. And then she's also speaking at our summit. So I want to encourage you. She's going to not just be there live, but she's going to be doing live Q&A. Her video is a must watch next. And so if you go to the Think Media channel and you look at how to master AI content, how to master AI for content creation in 2024, that was 6 days ago with Nikki Saunders. That would be my answer to your question. And then honestly, I mean, if you've got the funds, get registered for the summit because AI is going to be a massive topic. It has to be. It's huge. Saving time, best tools, how it's disrupting, spotting some trends, but then the practical things of actually how to use it to stay ahead of the disruption. And of course, remembering this, that hidden in every obstacle or challenge is a seed of equal or greater opportunity. So entrepreneurs solve problems for a profit. That's part of the mindset. It's like, as we look ahead, it's like, is there challenges ahead? Is there things ahead that are going to be difficult for us? Everything in life that's great is uphill. Of course, there's going to be challenges. And of course, there's going to be problems. And some people go, problems, oh no. But entrepreneurs go, problems are an opportunity. Because as things are disrupted, that could launch a whole new show, a whole new problem to solve, a whole new thing to serve, a whole new niche. Maybe you start a new channel, a new brand. Because remember, entrepreneurs solve problems for a profit. 95% of humanity actually focuses on the problems and just complains. 5% of innovators and disruptors themselves go, I don't even have an opportunity until there's a problem. I don't have an opportunity to create a comfortable pillow until somebody hates the pillow they're sleeping on. I don't have an opportunity to maybe create a YouTube show that in the midst of disruption or things changing, that can help people navigate a changing industry and adapt to new things. Point of view, perspective. I promise you this too, at the end of the summit, you are going to not just have the tactical tips, but it's going to help you develop the mindset, right, for turning every adversity into an opportunity and using it to change people's lives, change your family's life, build something meaningful, get clear on your mission, your vision, your goals. It's going to be fun. Okay, a couple other questions that have coming in. The Swedish car guy, check the replay of this one. We covered a lot of news. And Screenwriting Scribe asks, where can we find the schedule for the Grow with Video conference this week? I can't wait. I'm so excited. Thank you for doing this. Well, you're very welcome. If you go to summit.thinkmedia.com, you can see all the details. Okay. So you can see right now at the time of streaming this video, there's 3 days until the summit. You can get your tickets here. You can see what, when, and where. If you scroll down on the page, you can see who the speakers are, including Gary Vaynerchuk, Patrick Bet-David, Ali Abdaal, Dave Ramsey, Cody Sanchez, Nikki Saunders, many others. You could see who it's for and what's included in your ticket. There's a general admission level and there's a VIP level. You could see some feedback from people that have been a part of past events. Here's the pricing, general admission right now, and the prices do go up. There's a few days until, so you still have kind of mid-tier pricing. So this would be the day to grab your ticket. General admission, $47. VIP experience, $247. You can see what you get there, including like Gary Vaynerchuk's physical book, Cody Sanchez's new book that's coming out. Also, to be clear, it's a 3-day event. People are wondering, will there be replays? If you do general admission, you have 24 hours to watch the replay. So I would understand this. You got to block the time off work, or as soon as you get off work, get home and watch the replay at the general admission level, because you could either watch live or just watch that day according to your time zone, wherever you are in the world. You have plenty of time. You just got to do it like that day. If you don't want to be up in the middle of the night, I understand some people will do that. Now, the way around that is if you grab the VIP experience, you have 30 days to review all the sessions. General admission, 24-hour replay access. VIP experience, 30-day replay access. A lot of other perks and stuff that are there as well. And then here's your schedule. So we actually have a networking session. This is happening on Zoom. It's kind of fun. It's going to be a digital way for you to meet other creators, have people jump into breakout rooms on Zoom. This is a pre-event that is happening. It's happening May 21st. That's in 2 days. It's at 4 p.m. Everything is based on Pacific time, Los Angeles time. So you need to use a time zone converter for your local area. And so on May 21st is our pre-conference session. And then on May 23rd, you could see on the, that's Thursday, you can go there right now and actually see pretty much every session. I'm also teaching 9 sessions and going through our entire 7-step YouTube success system during this summit. And you could see when that is all happening. So you're not going to miss The future of video, threats, opportunities, and the new way to win in a saturated market. Start with the end in mind. How to dominate your niche and stand out in a crowded space. Nikki Saunders on AI. How to use this viral formula to grow your following, increase sales, and get more views. We have a couple panels: mastering the mindset, unlocking the inner game, mastering your inner game. We have a tech session on the latest best tech setups for $50, under $100, under $500, and around $1,000 of like the best gear. We break all that down, hook you up with a list of everything and whatever else. We've got Pat Flynn breaking down all the stuff that's been happening at Deep Pocket Monster. This session is going to be awesome, and he'll be doing Q&A. Secrets of the top 1%, how they trigger the algorithm and generate millions of views. There's 8 strategies that I'm teaching in that one. Anyways, that's just May 23rd. So that's the first day of the conference. You can see May 24th. That's the Friday of the conference. And then 25th, it does happen on a Saturday. It is a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. When you get your ticket, we will, of course, email you and make sure you're getting emails for us. And then you're going to download the conference app. So there's kind of like some gamification. We're doing giveaways. There's some cool stuff that's happening inside of the Grow with Video Summit app. And so if you have any other questions about that, there's some FAQs as well on here. All of that information is provided for you. So just go to summit.thinkmedia.com or click the link in the description for more information about that. Do YouTubers face imposter syndrome? My friend, I think everybody faces imposter syndrome. YouTubers for sure face imposter syndrome. And I would actually encourage you this. Even some of the YouTubers that you think are the heroes or your heroes, they face imposter syndrome too. Maybe not all. I know I do. I know that sometimes I'm like, I face insecurity or a fear of irrelevance or who am I? So that's a great question. And I think if you're feeling that, I think 100% of people felt that, because there's like the mindsets you have are, who am I to add anything to the conversation? You know, there's already this established channel doing what I want to do. Why would I start something when like I can't compete with them? But then remember what my friend John Acuff says: never compare your beginning to somebody else's middle. You want to know what a recipe for success that I heard once that I love? It's 4 steps. Write these down. Step number 1, suck. Step number 2, suck. Step number 3, suck. Step number 4, success. It's the recipe. Suck, 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 cess. Kind of cheesy, but think about it. Like, isn't it like you have this imposter syndrome? Like, what if my first videos are bad? They will be. Like, have you ever seen my first video? Like, it's bad. It's like, it was worse than bad. It's horrible. Actually, I have a clip of it. Check this out.
All right, so this is, I guess, the first Sean Thanks vlog, and I'm going to try to vlog every single day, mainly so I can remember what I'm even doing and what's going on, because I just feel like I have a lot that I'm thinking about, and I figured, hey, why not share it? And if you find something interesting, that's awesome. Now, this is definitely as real as it gets, so I'm not going to try to be energetic or entertaining. Though maybe sometimes I will. But anyways,
I mean, listen, there's good news for you. Like, if you feel like your first videos are going to be your worst videos, they will be. And it's something about suck, success. Everyone starts at 0. Everybody starts with a learning curve and a skill gap and things they need to learn. But the common denominator of the people you're seeing doing the thing you want to do right now is they started before they were ready, and they started poop your pants scared, and they started with sweaty armpits, and they started with not liking the sound of their own voice on camera. And they probably still don't like the sound of their own voice on camera. But what is the definition of courage? It's not the absence of fear. It's moving forward despite the fear that you feel. So if you feel imposter syndrome, you're in good company. Most people do. Just some people let it paralyze them, but others use it to propel them into taking massive action. A couple other questions that have been coming in. And Erica, can't wait to see you at the summit. It's going to be fun. This is one of my favorite questions. Is this AI? Is this a real person? You'll never know, right? What if this entire video was a deep fake of me and I'm not even here? And I'm so self-aware as an AI avatar that I can kind of like joke about how I'm not AI. What if the video of my first video, what if I don't even exist? This is like the kind of questions we'll start having. Um, to be more direct and overt and blunt, this is a real person. My name is Sean Cannell. Nice to meet you. I'm your friend. I'm here to help. And I want you to win. And someday maybe we'll disclose it. By the way, I made a whole video about it. YouTube does make you disclose synthetic or AI generated content. Now, of course, people could try to get around that, but you actually should see a disclaimer if people are doing it right. If YouTube detects it, or there's a little box where you say, yeah, there's some AI generated content in here. Doesn't mean you're going to be penalized. It just means you're disclosing that so people ideally don't have to ask questions like that, which is a good question. Like, is this even real? Are you even real? That's so funny. All right. Yes. Sean, you're the reason I started. I appreciate you. Love Sunny as well. Swedish car guy. Yeah, I appreciate you. I got the I'm your friend thing from John Maxwell, one of my heroes. And by the way, I believe that. And I understand like we don't even know each other, but like in terms of like a deep friendship. But I guess just my point of view, and I'm sure people question this, but it's like, listen, I understand that I run a business, that your viewership, by the way, helps with ad revenue. And if you click an affiliate link, like there's no doubt about it. Like I have a business and I want it to be profitable, but my conviction is that your income is directly correlated to the amount of value you put into the marketplace. And my hope is that your subscription to Think Media, your attendance at the summit, whether you just engage with our free content or someday you get a book or get a course or something, that you would just get more value than what you paid. And my disposition is I'm a champion for you. I want you to win. It's literally how our company is architected. We're on a mission to help 1 million purpose-driven people create a full-time living doing what they love with YouTube and online video, and to experience that success without losing their soul. Because we don't want you to climb the YouTube mountain of success, but burn out or blow up your family or end up at the top of the mountain having maybe destroyed some of the things that matter most. At the same time, I believe we can do both. I believe we can build purpose-driven social media, creator economy, personal brand, nonprofit, company brand movements, leveraging technology, the internet, and YouTube, and we can do it in the right way. Am I making mistakes along the way? For sure. Have I figured out how to be perfectly balanced and not burn out or anything? No, I haven't figured that out, but that's what I'm trying to learn. And so I'm just here to help, come along your side and help you win. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate your feedback, brother, as well. Thank you so much. Okay, listen, if you're just jumping on, we just covered a bunch of YouTube news. So check out the replay and I'll add some time codes and chapters. I'm also going to put all the articles in the description down below. If you're interested, I'm going to answer one more question because I really like it and I just have to. But if you're interested, the summit's coming up with Dave Ramsey, Patrick Bet David, and Ali Abdaal and Gary Vaynerchuk. And so that'll be the last time I shout it out, but you can check that out at summit.thinkmedia.com. A really good question came in, so I'll hit that. And I think that should be the last one, but we'll see. Thank you, my T Connection. Love the kind words and appreciate you. Here we go. Great question. If you had to choose one, would you focus on a personal brand or a business? Almost anything that you're going to get from me, I said this on a recent stream, it's like, rather than giving you answers, which I actually think that the best coaches or the best mentors or just the best people that are going to help you process are probably going to give you less answers, and they're going to give you better questions. They're just going to help you think for yourself, because a black and white answer from 99% of the time would be bad advice, because you're different. Your circumstances are different. Your season of life is different. Maybe your income's different. Your ambitions are different. Your goals are different. So in regards to this question, which is better, a personal brand or a business brand? It's a self-awareness question. What are you trying to build? What is it you want to do? Do you want to eventually build like a media brand of some kind and sell it? It's going to be harder to sell a personal brand. Do you want to build up a personal? I think if I had to pick one for 99% of small to mid-sized creators that are looking for a sustainable way to do YouTube full-time, I would pick personal brand because people connect with personal brands more. If you want to be a solo creator or solopreneur, maybe eventually have a video editor or a few assistants, personal brand, people are going to connect with a personal brand more. But if I had to choose one, I'll tell you. So then my answer though is both, because there's three options. Do I go personal brand, media or business brand, or both? My answer is both. So I can't just choose one. And here's why. Because I do want to build something that can have a lasting impact. And if I build that just on me, then that's going to be limited. Some of what has happened is a little bit by accident. I can't say it was super strategic, meaning this channel that we're on right now, Think Media, is not a personal brand channel. My personal brand and social media accounts have been being built, and maybe you know me as Sean Cannell or whatever. So certainly my personal brand is a part of things. But 14 years ago when I started Think Media, I called it Think Media TV. And now what it's turned into and what it'll continue to be is you're going to see other content creators, like great people that we've had over the years on the channel, making some amazing videos. And we've got some amazing new people that are coming on the channel. And that's actually kind of always been the vision. We were talking about how, like, take a show like The Office, and you took a show where you had the legendary Michael Scott, irreplaceable, but eventually he left and the show was still great, in my opinion. And maybe it wasn't like what it once was, or you take something like, even SNL, which I don't really love, but Saturday Night Live is a brand, but it's had multiple comedians come through it. And what's interesting too, is many of those comedians, aka creators, have used also that platform to launch into things. And if you check out some of the people who've worked with Think Media in the past, look at the trend. It's actually a launching pad for a lot of people as well. So anyways, that was just my personal answer. I think for 99% of people, personal brand, because it's gonna be the most practical, and you're probably not wanting to build or even deal with the headache of building like a larger media brand or something that has, a business. If you're a business owner, I'll recommend one thing for you next, which is perfect for this. And that is my interview with Layla Hermosi on the Think Media podcast. If you didn't know, we have more than one channel. In fact, I am most active on our other channel, and that it's been that way for quite a long time. So on the Think Media podcast channel, you can see a lot of great conversations that are happening. Here's the channel, Think Media Podcast. A while back, I had a conversation with Layla Hermosi, and she talked about the self-awareness of the CEO founder. And her opinion was about maybe 2 or 3 CEO founders of businesses have the chops or like the natural momentum to even be the face of a YouTube channel. So then the other question is, like, do they desire, if you're a business or a brand, do you desire to be the face? Do you desire to be the main content creator? Do you desire to do that? I think that anybody can grow their skills, but I think the prerequisites would be you have some level of communication skills, some level of, if you need to have that stuff as a CEO too, because you need to cast vision and like lead staff meetings or whatever. So translating that over to content and leveling up. Do you even have the desire? Do you have some basic skills? Do you want to do that? But if that's only 2 or 3 out of 10 of most CEOs, founders that should be the face, then the question becomes, well, who else could be the face? I've thrown a lot at you. So I just think it's a lot of questions to kind of think about. Do I want to go personal first and then eventually build business? Do I want to go business first? Am I going to hire talent, or does somebody work there? Could somebody else be the face? Could it be multiple creators? Where do I want to be in the next 5 to 10 years? And as I told you, I probably just give you 36 things to think about as opposed to maybe just a direct answer. But I hope that's helpful for you in considering kind of your next 5 to 10 moves. Agree with you. YouTube is number 1 and Think Media is the bomb. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, it definitely comes down to your desire, the journey of just self-awareness. And then, by the way, it also comes down to like move fast and break things, because I'm at the vantage point of being in the YouTube game. 2007, I started a channel for my church. I went full time in this kind of Think Media era. No freelance clients, no longer working at a church and as a campus pastor in 2016. So now I'm 8 years in kind of this, like, was first a solo creator, then started to hire people. Think Media is about 25 W-2s right now, probably another 10 to 15 contractors. So now I've seen the eras of YouTube. I've personally been doing some different things. So it's kind of changed my perspective and helped it evolve. And so what I would want to encourage you is the more strategic planning you could do at the start, the further down the road you can look good. However, one of your biggest enemies is analysis paralysis. Overthinking, analysis paralysis, waiting until it's perfect, waiting until your plan is perfect. There's a quote from a military general that says, better an imperfect plan executed violently this week than the perfect plan executed next week. What does that mean? Something about speed, something about get a raw enough information. I don't know if you've heard about like the 65% rule from Amazon. I believe that's a percentage. They made a decision that said, if we have 100% of the information, it's too late to seize the opportunity. The problem with opportunities is they look like risks and they come with fears and what if and all this different stuff. So the action takers, they don't move forward with no strategy or information. But if you're waiting for perfect and 100%, you're waiting too long. So better to execute a decent plan violently this week than for you to be watching a stream with me a year from now and be like, dang, I should have actually punched fear in the face and pressed record back when I was watching that news show with Sean on Think Media. So don't get into analysis paralysis, but definitely take some time to put a plan together. And side note, we're the last session at the summit, which the whole event will help you do this, but is actually the goal of our summit is to help you leave with a plan. So the last session, we can look at the schedule and I'll just confirm this, know where I need to be. I'm in Las Vegas right now. I'm going to be live with you for 3 days. It's called Ready, Set, Launch, your easy to follow plan for dominating the next 90 days. So we're going to leave this 3-day event with a 90-day game plan of the next moves that are right for you. Personal brand, business brand, media brand. Like, what are you doing next? There's a lot of personalized nuances where, of course, there's general best practice, but then it also is going to come down to, your personal bandwidth, budget, vision, all this different stuff too. So, Sam, I appreciate you. Yeah, summit's going to be fun, and it starts this week. So, can't wait to hang out with y'all, those that want to attend. Okay. If you would kindly and gently tap the like button on your mobile device or mouse cursor over to the like button or the dislike button. Hey, I'm here for the engagement. If you're on the replay fam, I know I said it earlier, but if you're an hour and 22 minutes in, hashtag replay fam, would love to thank you so much for being here on the replay. If you're here live, I appreciate you. Thank you, Swedish Kara guy, for hitting like. Yes, summit's coming up. I will see you soon. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And make sure to subscribe and all that good stuff. And then hit me up at the Think Media podcast as well. I drop 2 new episodes every week. There's clips as well, but the big promise over there is every week is 2 episodes. Here's our podcast playlist. Wanted to go down the rabbit hole of some of the episodes. We have how to attract high paying sponsorships over there. We got some TikTok stuff with Kenya Kelly that just came up. Some new stuff with Jade Beeson, Graham Stephan, who's quite the content creator when he breaks down so much tactical stuff in this video. So anyways, Think Media Podcast, that's a separate channel. I'll link it up as well. I was on my way out and a super chat came in. So Anita, thank you so much for the super chat. I really, really appreciate you. Have not checked out, but have you done any video on the infamous YouTube algorithm? Grab my ticket for the summit. Awesome. Can't wait to see you at the summit, Anita. Yeah, one of the things you can do is you could go to Think Media or any YouTube channel. It's just kind of a cool feature to know. And there's a search feature, right? So if you type in algorithm and you search it, then you could search a channel. Nolan did a great video on YouTube algorithm there. He's done a couple. When was my last? My last ones were a little bit older. This YouTube employee breaks down the YouTube algorithm is pretty good. And then you could do the same over here. So if you're trying to understand, like, how does the YouTube algorithm work on either channel, this is the Think Media podcast channel. I type an algorithm wrong and I use spell check to help me. this clip from Graham. That's right. He just broke this down. That's some good stuff. And then we have Renee, YouTube employee, explains the algorithm. So on the podcast channel, there's some great stuff as well. So anyways, that little tool is going to be helpful for you as far as go to the channel. I think it's a desktop only thing. Fact check me, but I think you got to go on desktop, type in, and on Think Media, you might type in camera or Sony or lighting or something like that. And then if you go to the Think Media podcast, you might type in shorts, because if you're curious, like, does Sean create anything on shorts? And then you could check my 10 shorts hacks for every channel I should be using, how to convert shorts viewers into long form viewers. So some good stuff. And shout out to A1C1 lounging on a Sunday. Respect. If you're out here wanting to learn, check some stuff out, definitely dig into some of the great videos we have in the library of our 2 channels. And if you also want to take things to another level as well as learn from some great speakers, our summit is coming up as well. And it starts this Thursday. But actually get your ticket because we have the pre-event that is Tuesday. And the pre-event, did I miss so many? I missed super chats. I apologize if you've been here. Hey, 90s limit. I got so much to do now. That's okay though. I'm grateful. I was going to try to keep this video under an hour, and we're here at an hour 25 replay value, right? But hey, if you get a vibe and you spend time with us at Think Media, check your time codes and chapters because we're obviously in Q&A. We got through the news part. Let's stay focused and honor these super chats. On podcasts, can you just talk, vlog, and call it a podcast? Audience is terrifying me and interaction is difficult. Online it's much easier. Like, so on podcasts, could you just get a microphone, get a camera or webcam, use something like StreamYard, which is what I'm using, and hit record and talk? Yeah, I mean, of course. And you upload that to YouTube and you optimize it and it'll be distributed in YouTube Music. They said eventually they're going to have RSS out, but in the meantime, what you're going to need to do if you want to then distribute that podcast across audio platforms is you're going to need something like Libsyn or Buzzsprout or something like that. So my audio podcast, I use Buzzsprout, and the audio podcast, you could strip the audio, which would just mean if I recorded an entire video like this, hi, the audio is in the microphone. I could then just export the audio of that video, and then that becomes my podcast file. Now, of course, you can get fancy intros, audio editing, all that kind of stuff, but that's kind of the 101 of it. So I guess my answer to your question, and thanks again for the super chat, is yeah, you can turn a camera on, even if you don't want to be on camera, if it's not camera friendly. Some people do the fly in the wall style. Maybe they want someone that's like, maybe you're going to do an interview show. So focus on just talking to your guest and turn the camera on, talk to the guest, interview the guest. Or it's not unlike a Zoom call. If you've ever done a Zoom conference, one of the cool things about StreamYard, what I'm using, is you can easily bring on people to interview or collaborate with. So then just have a conversation with them. But let me just encourage you that feeling not camera ready or feeling fear and feeling hesitation to like pressing record and getting on camera is completely normal. 99% of people deal with that. They talk about the greatest fears people have. And one of the greatest fears is public speaking. Even scarier is that we would public speak and then post it on the internet. What are you talking about? It opens us up to criticism. It opens us up to maybe someone's not going to like us. It opens us up to negative comments. But what's waiting for you on the other side of getting out of your comfort zone and punching fear in the face? It's just going to be something you're going to have to fight through. So I encourage you to do that. And yes, it could be as simple as getting a camera, getting a microphone, turning the camera on, and boom, you have a video podcast. How you've inspired me to click record on my videos. Let me know what you think. How should I improve? Igor, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. And I don't have time for channel reviews today, but I'm super grateful. And without watching your videos, I can't give you that specific advice, but just to honor your super chat, what I would say is the mentality is let's get 1% better with every upload. And let me give you kind of a checklist. I'm going to go back through some of my last videos and ask myself some questions. What do the analytics say? The audience retention curve. I'm going to review how's the pacing feel? Did it feel a little too fast, a little too slow? How is the hook? And what do the analytics tell me about the hook? Could I better communicate in the first 15, 30, 60 seconds of the video to hold attention, or are people jumping off? And YouTube analytics will tell you that. I'm going to go back through and identify the winners and which ones should I double down on. If I think through, how's my on-camera presence? How am I communicating? Now, there are some things, and I want to, there's a tension between, because I know I share a lot of encouraging stuff about like, start messy, start before you're ready. Your first videos are going to be your worst videos, and it's true. But I also need to give you the honest feedback and like that real coaching advice of like, some of you, the reason you're not getting views is you don't deserve them yet. You need to keep improving. The good news is you can. It's within reach. But you have to honestly assess, and that's what's hard, is objectively viewing your videos, reviewing your content, and saying, how can I be a better communicator? And more practically, a lot of us will edit, and going live like this could be scary. But I was thinking about somebody recently, and I was observing them public speaking, and I was thinking about, here's the advice that I have yet to give them, but I will give them after, as somebody that I have the relationship in order to do that too. I don't think you should just hand out unsolicited advice, but if someone asks a question, and in their communication, what I wanted to encourage them to do is to go back and count their ums as a practice. Go count your ums. Now, you might be editing out your ums, and if you use AI like Descript, different tools, you could just throw your video in there into like your editor, and it'll cut out the dead space and cut out filler words. So there's some ways to, no matter where you're starting, we can all enhance and level up with video editing and tools. But here's my point. How can I make my videos better? I can study the art of communication. I can improve my on-camera delivery, but it's what gets measured gets improved. So I go back and I look, and that's why the prescription for a public speaker to say, go count your ums. Think about also how painful that could be. Whoa. I counted 46 in 30 minutes. All right. And I don't know how that makes you feel, but here's the exercise will get you progress. Because I encourage you this. If you were public speaking, you had 46 ums in 36 minutes, and you went back and took the time to rewatch and count them and tally them out. Check, 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 strike through. That's 5. Line, line, line. All right. Wow. The next time it's not going to be 46 ums. It's going to be 28. And then the next time it's going to be 18. Because kind of like Kobe, may he rest in power. You know what? One of the things he was famous for, Kobe Bryant, was whether he won a game or lost the game, he went back and reviewed the game tape. So this is all just in response, and thanks again for the super chat, but you got to review your game tape. Not with a self-critical, it leaves you discouraged and depressed, although we've all been there. I go there too. You're like, oh man, that just was bad. And it like sticks with you a couple of days. We got to bounce out of that though. That's what resilience is. Resilience is how quick you get back to baseline. You know, you don't crater at the highs and the lows as much. You just have more of a resilient, look it up. Resilience means like how quick you get back to baseline, right? So you watch the video like Kobe does, and you're like, man, how could I improve? How could I do better? And how could I just say a few more ums? And the other day, Trey on our team, one of our editors, said, hey, Sean, is there anything you've done to grow as a communicator? We were at the M Hotel in Las Vegas, and he was helping me check out because I had to jump on a plane. And I actually flew back to Washington where my wife and kids were because we had baby dedications at our church on Sunday. But then I also had to fly back to Vegas to an event I couldn't cancel. I tried, but I wanted to honor my commitment. So I was hustling out to fly home, spend the weekend, do baby dedications at church, and then get back Sunday night so I could speak on Monday. It was interesting. So Trey was helping me get to my car and check out of the hotel room. And he said on the walk, he said, Sean, is there anything you've done to grow as a communicator? And I go, well, there's a few things. I go, in 2003, I started volunteering at a church, and I was an intern at a church. And this was incredibly helpful for me because they had me do announcements and stand up front, hold the microphone, and it was awkward or it was long, but I would get some feedback. And then eventually they had me share a sermon, and it was really bad. But even preparing for it and delivering it helped me grow as a communicator. And then I joined this like little ministry school, and we actually learned in preaching and teaching how to structure teaching. And then we did even some extemporaneous communication classes where they'd be like, turn, this ball into a sermon, go. And you'd be like, listen, God's glory is like the blue sky and the blue ocean and the sphere of the earth. I don't know, but like, it was kind of like improv. So yeah, I was in school, I was learning, and I paid to go to that school, right? Which was much more about like ministry and preaching and stuff, but I was learning. And then around 2007 and 8, before even all this cool stuff on YouTube and the internet, I bought this 12 CD set with John Maxwell and Chris Widener on how to be a better communicator. 4 of the CDs was just on language and vocabulary. 8 of the CDs was on information about human psychology and pacing and how to communicate and different things. And then as time went on, and also as I started just understanding the value of investing in myself, I've bought probably 30 books on communication, Talk Like TED, the different TED Talk books. I've watched TED Talks, and then I started buying tickets to events. And so I got to learn from a guy named Brendon Burchard and learning about kind of like the whole, if you will, influencer industry, kind of a weird word to use, but like expert industry. And, but then found guys like, I'm trying to think of, is a football player that rolls with him. Anyways, that also talks on public, on communication. Pete Vargas on how to speak in stage. I buy a ticket. My wife and I fly to Colorado, and we attend this Advance Your Reach event all about speaking on stage and how to speak. And by the way, this all translates to my YouTube career, but I'm telling Trey this story. He's like, is there anything you've done? So I'm like, I remember once interviewing a really high level preacher, or high level, like that could command the attention of 10,000 people in a stadium. And he said the best way to teach a preacher is to preach a preacher. And that stuck with me because I was like, oh, you got to practice a lot. I've done certain times where I've done weekly live streams for 104 weeks in a row. There's 104 practices under my belt. And because the best way to preach a preacher is to, it's okay. You're like, what are you talking about? The best way to YouTube a YouTuber is to Bluetooth a boob tuber. What? So listen. So I was like, so Trey, besides investing about now 20 years, 30,000 hours, and probably $100,000 in the art form of communication, besides that, I haven't really done anything. And he was like, okay, like, dude, you've done a few things. I share that story for you. I don't even remember why, because we're so deep. It's probably, it's back here, Igor. And I hope that helps you, because I want to thank you for the super chat. How should you improve? The story that I shared with you would be the lifestyle. I hope that I don't say one thing and do another. I live personal growth. I think the most valuable asset, as Warren Buffett says, is investing in you. By the way, Warren Buffett, the famous investor, says communication is the number one skill in any industry. Look it up. Fact check. The word of the day. To increase your worth, increase your income, and think about that. He's not even talking about YouTubers or the creator economy. So I would just encourage you, review your videos like Kobe does, your game tape, and see how you can improve. Commit to getting outside feedback. Commit to studying the skill sets required for whatever industry you want to dominate. And that would be what it is. I just figured if I'm going to be doing speaking as a profession or as a living, whether on camera or on a live stream or on stage, then I'm going to invest my money and my time and get mentors and get coaches in that area. If I'm now going to try to build a business and learn how to lead a team, the reason I just read The Truth About Employee Engagement from Patrick Lencioni is because I want to build a really cool culture of the people that work at Think and have them feel. So it's a whole new skill set I got to learn. So of course, the only insurance for tomorrow is what are you learning and how are you growing today? And so I hope that helps. That's where we took it. I appreciate you. And more super chats have come in. This will be the stream we can never end, but I'm here to hang out with you on a Sunday, and I'm grateful for you. Smash like. All right, Andy. I just want to support the channel. Appreciate it. I also want to know what your go-to coffee order is. Also, my channel just got monetized. Thank you, guys. Can we give it up and smash like if you're on mobile and the heart button for Andy just getting monetized? Great job. What is my go-to coffee order? I got 3 for you. Number 1, Prodigal Coffee. Now I'll tell you this, my go-to coffee order I wish like I was sponsored by coffee companies and like if they even had an affiliate program. These kind of companies don't really have affiliate programs. If I'm looking at the bottom, like if they did, not that it matters, but so my go-to, I'm a black coffee drinker. Okay. I was telling my wife, I like my coffee like I like my women. Hot. My woman, singular, by the WOMAN. I like my coffee like I like my wife. Single origin. So dumb. Okay, relax. It's a joke, and it's not a good joke. It's a dad joke. Okay, what are we talking about? My coffee order. I'll land the plane quick. Prodigal. This coffee brand is so I'm drinking black coffee. I'm grinding my own beans, and I use an AeroPress most days to just make a cup at a time. So Prodigal coffee, number one, absolute fire if you're into like single origin coffee, Colombia, Ethiopia, this different stuff. Okay, so they're great. Onyx Coffee is going to be onyxcoffeelab.com is going to be another one for me. Absolute fire, and lots of good roasts that are on here, all coffee. So I'm kind of, if you're like, wait, are you one of those bougie kind of like hipster coffee guys? Absolutely. 100%. And my wife is like a Dutch Brothers and she's okay with Keurig. I am like, you don't want to be around me because I'm too coffee snob and I'll be judgy if you're doing a Keurig. Because how old is that pod? Not only when did they roast it, when did they grind it, and how long has that been on the shelf? Okay, relax. So Onyx Coffee Lab, Prodigal Coffee, and Presta. There's so many good ones too. I spend a lot of money on coffee, relatively speaking. Like I don't actually save. I don't really go to Starbucks. I guess I do, or places like that. I don't buy coffee out, but I buy bags of coffee that are $25, etc. And I and go through them. So Presta is another one. So that was kind of a side quest, Andy, but that would be my go-to coffee order. Prodigal, Onyx, and Presta are some great roasters to look up if you even care about just getting some whole beans, grinding them yourself, and having some incredible cups of coffee, if that's your thing. Jessica, how do you overcome the fear of public speaking when you have a speech impediment? I'm so scared of making videos because of it. That's a really good question, Jessica. Oh, my thoughts are this. Number one, if you have some type of challenge, everybody watching live or on the replay, consider this. What is your thing that you feel like is holding you back? And so it could be like, I feel like it could be a disability. It could be like, I've got a speech impediment, something. It could just be like, I just don't like the way I look or whatever. I think one of the things that's important is to do your research and find somebody who has overcome the thing that you are viewing as an obstacle. And fair enough. It's a challenge that you'll have to overcome. My dad used to always tell me this. My dad, John Cannell, he said, Sean, you have to play the hand you're dealt, right? Because in life, at some point, like there's just certain things that are out of our control. That's the hand we're dealt. So if we're going to play the hand we're dealt, I don't actually, even though I'm in Vegas right now, I'm not really into gambling and nor good at it, nor even know the rules. But if we were to play like poker, whatever hands you get, you're going to play it a certain way. You might, how you bluff, how you're playing the hands, how you're playing. Okay, let a poker player explain that, but you know what I'm saying. So he's like, my dad was always got to play the hand you're dealt, but you got to play the hand. So I think if you can find somebody, and this is what we discover on YouTube, whether it's somebody that is anything that you can imagine, young or old, male or female, different disabilities. There's people in our community I think about that have built whole channels, from a wheelchair. I was watching this Christian commentary channel the other day from a guy that was blind. And as a content creator, he had built up this kind of Christian news show and is creating content blind. And his channel's going great. And it was incredibly valuable. And I discovered him because of search, because of the algorithm. And so I think that the reason why, maybe it's a biography, maybe it's because that's going to be a source of fuel for you. And whoever you are watching, wherever you are, find examples of somebody who the challenge and the obstacle and the giant that you think is undefeatable, find somebody that has defeated the giant so you can follow in their footsteps. Immediately that raises the lid, it shatters the glass ceiling to say, okay, it is possible. Two, I think you could look into the idea of, okay, what are my options? And so I don't know if you've gotten feedback by it. There are all kinds of different creators that have different challenges, but it'd be something to address. Can it be improved? Is it something that can't be improved? How, I don't know the level of it, talking to you right now. And so at some level, maybe it's, if the videos are watchable and you're able to communicate and get information across, great. But on the flip side, Jessica, too, so it's like, could I get speech therapist? Can I improve that? Can I work on that? Can I start now? Can I see somebody else like, look at their subscribers? And what you might discover is like, their speech impediment's worse than mine, but they got 100,000 subscribers. That's the kind of mental mindset shifting that happens when we kind of study the marketplace and we're like, oh, I'm too old, until you learn that Denise Jordan from This and That, Denise, one of our VRA students, is in her 70s, 50,000 subscribers, thousands coming in, launched a business called Apron Diva, affiliate marketing, YouTube ads. So you're in your 70s, you're like, oh, I'm too old, it's too late, until that false belief gets shattered. But then the other thing I think to consider is this, Jessica, and that is, we're living in an era where there's so many ways you could do YouTube. You can do YouTube as a faceless channel that some might want to do. You can do YouTube even with other people's voices as well. AI voices, voiceover artists, etc. So then it becomes a self-awareness and a self-desire. Like if we do a SWOT analysis, taking it all the way back to how we started the stream, I want y'all to have this, and y'all probably maybe have never seen this before. And this is your time. We're halfway through the year. We're about to do the Growth Video Summit. And it's always a good time as a content creator or entrepreneur to do a SWOT analysis. It's SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. So what you are assessing is, okay, what are my strengths? Maybe it's, I've got really deep knowledge in a subject. I've researched it for many years. I have experience. I have results. I have client success stories. I've got all this, different, that whatever it is for you. But then you have to say, what are my weaknesses? You might say my speech impediment. You might say my schedule right now. You might say the season of life I'm in. Listen, as a parent now with the 1.5, I was just talking with my wife because we have someone watching our kids. We're like on our first ever out of state away from our kids. Okay. And we were like, this is insane. What are we even going to do with ourselves? And here's what we also said. Parents know what I'm talking about. We were like, what did we even do before we had kids? We had unlimited time. Like we were living in infinity. Like parents, if you could think back, like being on a trip, we're like, what are we going to do with ourselves? Like today, I'm like, man, I could get up, I could watch church online, and I could stream online. I'm about to go work out. I'm going to take a nap, maybe like read a book. Then I'm going to go to Jordan Peterson tonight in Vegas on the Those Who Wrestle with God tour with a couple of Think Media team members. No kids. I'm going to accomplish like millions of things today. What's the point? Not that kids are a weakness, but we were talking about how in entrepreneurship, if you're trying to hustle and build a company, build a YouTube channel, and you're competing against somebody without kids and you have kids, you got to keep that in perspective. I wouldn't say make it an excuse, but it's facing reality. That person's got time and flexibility that you don't. So if we're just doing a SWOT analysis, we're like, what are my strengths? And don't be like humble about that. I mean, be humble, but like, be honest. I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've researched this thing. I've read books on it. I'm curious about it. I love sharing it. People always say, man, you make complex things simple. Like you're great at that game. You're great at your personality, whatever. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And being honest about that. And so then you say, okay, what are the opportunities? And that could be external. It's like looking out, what's your external environment? We just covered a bunch of those right now. What are the opportunities for me specifically? Maybe it is a season of life. Maybe it's access to a particular guest to launch your video podcast. Maybe it's a place where you live. It does no good to say like, if I only lived in Vegas or LA or some hub where I could like connect with creators all the time, I would have an advantage. Well, for sure. That would be a strength. But I don't. I live somewhere else where I don't have that advantage. All right. Then that's not one of your strengths, or that is not an opportunity for you. But you got to play the hand you're dealt. All right, land in the plane. Opportunities, threats. What are the different threats in terms of starting now, competitors, other people? Bottom line, the question is, how do I overcome my fear of public speaking when I have a speech impediment? assess your strengths, assess your weaknesses, assess your opportunities, assess your threats, and then choose to go forward. And I was using this to say the ways you could approach YouTube is like, am I approaching YouTube with AI? Am I going to do video essays? Could I hire somebody else to be a voiceover artist? Could I learn the skills of simply editing? Could it be a faceless channel? Because for the person, someone might say, Sean, do you really believe every single person on earth, or do you really believe that just anybody can be successful on YouTube? I'm like, I believe most people could be successful on YouTube. Well, what if they don't have the personality for it? Well, that's not what I said. Like, they might not even be the personality behind it, but could they learn the skills and get in the game? Could they be a YouTube channel manager? So that goes, maybe it's the decouple. It becomes like to how married, this would happen, how married we get to how we want it to look. So we're like, well, I want to be Emma Chamberlain. Well, good. Okay. But you're not, but it could be, what if I want to make money from home in the creator economy? Okay, cool. There's a lot of different ways you could do it. Could you learn the YouTube skills and help other content creators manage their channel because you love YouTube, but you're assessing your strengths, weakness, opportunity, and threats? And then, by the way, that's also not necessarily abandoning your dreams. The greatest accelerant of success in any industry would be to work in the industry first and get free education. So if you want to be a personal brand creator, but let's play your situation out. And again, Jessica, I want to be empathetic to not knowing the full aspect here. But if you're like, okay, I got a speech impediment, but you could talk with a speech therapist and you get an expert opinion or multiple opinions. And they're like, oh, we've seen a lot of people, let's just say it was 70% bad or something. They're like, you could get it to a 22% and most people wouldn't notice, if it's even an issue, because you find a creator. Okay. So then you go, okay, so now I'm willing to do the work. Well, in the meantime, do you have to wait on your YouTube dreams? Well, no. Could you still learn best practices, thumbnails, titles, maybe work for somebody else? Go to YouTube Jobs. You ever heard of this website? YouTube Jobs, ytjobs.co. And so can anybody be full-time or make a living in the creator economy? My answer is like, for sure. You could freelance. You could do different stuff here on YouTube Jobs, short form editor, shorts producer, long form editor, thumbnail sketch artist, top talent right here, trending talent, leaderboards. So you could join as talent. You could post a job that you want to be people to be hired for, creative directors. So anyways, if we're open to it, maybe not looking, you're like, well, really, I just am looking for a way to use YouTube to make full-time money from home. So again, you could go faceless, you could go channel manager, you could go freelancer, or you could just get on camera. Open-mindedness to how the path could look, commitment to learning new skills, assessment of who's somebody that, again, probably has a worse speech impediment than you, that might be killing it at a level that all of a sudden breaks your glass ceiling and then shows you that you could do more. And then again, I might have repeated this, but just a commitment to improvement, because small tweaks lead to giant peaks. And if we could get a little bit better, maybe when we're self-aware, it's like, listen, we're not all going to be YouTube millionaires. I agree with that. We're not all going to have 1 million subscribers or even 100,000. But the article the Tilt just did said 4,000 was the average audience size of these full-time content entrepreneurs. So we need to have good information too. And it's like, if you're believing, what are you believing right now that's holding you back from your YouTube dreams? What false information are you believing right now that is actually paralyzing you from progress? You got to question your assumptions and question your data. So I'll never have 1 million subscribers. Maybe true. But you're like, and that means I shouldn't even start, or I can never be full-time. No, that would be false. So I hope that's helpful. Said quite a bit. And thank you so much, Jessica, for just your boldness to share that and your willingness for me to, share some answers and things like that. And I appreciate you, Anita. Yeah, excited to see Jordan Peterson tonight. Love Jordan. He's fun. I live in boring old Utah. Boring old Utah. I mean, I'm not sure what kind of content you're doing, Andy, but we got lakes, we got mountains, we got nature, we got Salt Lake City. Now, I know Utah's pretty big. You got Salt Lake City. You got Pahrump. Is that what it's called? No, Pahrump's Vegas. what's the P place in Prim? That's also Vegas. It doesn't matter. All right, listen, we're at 1 hour and 54 minutes. I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me. Let's try again to see if I did hit all the super chats. Thank you. I think I hit a lot of questions. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for being here. Smash the like button. And if you haven't heard about the summit and you want more stuff like this, we're going to be busy all week getting all this stuff set up. Yeah, Park City, Utah for sure, Michael. But what's like the other one? I'm trying to think about my friend Anthony who lives there. Utah map. Provo. That's what it is. Right? Yeah. And I like that that Andy was like, nah, I was just joking, man. Utah is the bomb. It is actually. Utah has all kinds of stuff. Provo, though. Who's living that Provo life? I can get to St. George in like 2 hours if anyone wants to meet up. I'm not going, but maybe someday. I love St. George. All right. What are we talking about? The summit. So, hey, your next move, if you're serious about YouTube and you want to hang out this week with Ali Abdaal and Patrick Bet-David and Gary Vaynerchuk, grab a ticket because I'm landing the plane. And we do have some new videos coming out, new podcasts, but all week long we're setting up. We got our meetup on Tuesday, our networking event on Zoom for our virtual conference attendees. So if you're just jumping on, you haven't heard, we're hosting a 3-day online event with Gary Vaynerchuk, Ali Abdaal, Patrick Bet-David, Dave Ramsey. If you go to summit.thinkmedia.com, you can see all the details. It's about 8 hours a day, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday coming up this week, 3 days in a row. It starts streaming in Los Angeles time, Pacific time. You have 24-hour access to the replay at the general admission level. You got 30 days access to the replay at the VIP level. And it's super affordable. And if you can block the time off work or you have the flexibility, or as soon as you get off work, you just turn off Netflix and Hulu and just turn on the Summit replay, grab your notebook, and get the best information right now from some of the top video experts for how to grow your business and brand with video, leads, customer sales, what's working, multi-platform, heavy YouTube emphasis, but also what are some of the fundamental best practices from people who are killing it in the content game. And if you're just jumping on, there's a lot of opportunities in the creator economy right now. There's some threats in the opportunity in the creator economy right now. So the whole purpose of this event is that you'd get some powerful, relevant right now information, what's working right now. You would learn the best practices, you would level up your game, you'd shift your mindset, you'd meet some incredible people. But then also you'll leave with a plan of what is your next 90 days on YouTube, building up your brand, your path to monetization, your path to standing out in a crowded marketplace. It's going to be an incredible event. It's 3 days long. It's virtual, so you don't need a plane ticket or a hotel. And you can check out details with the link in the description, or you can go to summit.thinkmedia.com. Super excited about that. And I want to thank you for being a part of our community, of the Think Media channel. Thank you. I'm very excited for the lineup. Michael, can't wait to see you on the summit. The Drakes can't wait to for you to see you on the summit. Patrick, it's going to be super fun. The Swedish Cargay says, I live in boring Sweden. Sweden seems awesome, but I don't know. And I've never been. I would love to go. So, hey, appreciate you, Yusuf. Thanks so much for the kind words and being here for this from the stream on LinkedIn. My man, multi-stream, StreamYard. We got X, shout out to X, shout out to LinkedIn, shout out to Facebook, massive love. Hey, hit the heart button and like button if you're here just at the end, and I appreciate you. And I can't wait to see you in a future video. Until then, my name is Sean Cannell, your guide to building a profitable YouTube channel, and we will talk soon.